if you missed this lesson, this is on the galaxy that we do with the constellation. On this one, I've used a little bit of the interference gold. You can kind of see how it's a lot more shiny right there. It actually puts gold in your color. This is here a technique called glazing. So let's get started. So I'm going to take and just draw a circle. And I'm working with mostly indigo and phthalo blue, or is it Prussian blue? So I'm going to just lay down a really concentrated amount of the Prussian. I'm using my number 8 round. You can start wherever you want to. Just kind of alternate with some water so you get those nice darks and lights. I'm going to add in some indigo. I'm also going to add in a little bit of purple, and I've got manganese purple here. I like to make this area just a little bit lighter so that I can go back in with my gold. And I'll add that on the last step. This is called glazing, and you might be happy with your little galaxy here or whatever right from the beginning. Okay, we're going to let that dry. Now that it's dry, you can tell that a lot of it has dried back to a lighter color. So I want to make that more intense by this technique called glazing. And I'm going to just take some more of my color and start layering it on. You don't want to overwork or layer on too much. But you're going to do the same sort of technique Try to move those colors around pretty quickly. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to go dry it again and let's see what we end up with. So you can see where it's gotten a lot darker, but I still want that more intense. So I'm going to do another layer of glazing. Use your colors pretty concentrated, but also interspersed with some water so that you get those nice lights and darks. There's water. Add in the Prussian. And the reason that this is such a fun exercise is it just adds in that really neat darks and lights. If you keep it nice and wet, you're going to end up with a beautiful flowy look to it. And then finally my purple. And that went on a little heavy, so I'm going to just dull it back with some water. Doesn't matter if you get some overlapping, you know, where like in here. where it looks heavier. That actually will just add depth. Okay, let's go dry that. So for this last layer, you can tell that it's really getting intense, which is just what you want. I really like some of the water techniques right in here. It just makes your constellation galaxy look very, a lot of varied depth in there. Okay, let's add our last one, and we are going to add in the interference gold this time. And this coat is going to be, oh, you know, it doesn't have to be as intense because you want some of those places to shine through. Rid of the purple. And then right in here, we're going to go ahead and put in the gold, and I'm going to just make that wet first, and then pick up the gold and kind of just start flooding it in there, and it will spread, if it's nice and wet, into those areas. I don't know if you can see it spreading. If you want to coax it along, you can just add in a little water. There we go. And it's not intense enough for me, so I'm going to add even a little bit more of the gold right in the middle there. I want that to be a really shiny spot in our universe. I guess that's what it is, a universe. Okay, let me go dry this. So I love how this turned out. You can kind of see all the depth in there. And if you don't have the gold, don't worry about it. You can also achieve that same look just with using a lot more water in the one area and letting it fade back, or you can use a little bit of gouache and kind of add to it, or yellow, as you're doing your piece, and concentrate on this piece being that lighter area. Okay, so to do the constellation, I found one on the internet, and I'm just going to use my gouache, or if you have this is the bleed proof white, and I'm going to go ahead and dip dot that with the top of my pencil, just the very point of my pencil, and I'm going to dip dot it in here. You can draw out your constellation first or just go for it, which is what I'm going to do. And I printed this out on the computer, and I'm going to do this one here, this Virgo. So I'm going to use it as my reference, and I'm just going to draw where I want to, the dots, make it nice and round. You can draw these on with pencil first if you want to, or you can just go for it like I am. Sometimes if it's a more intense one, then I find that it's a little bit easier to just go for it. or I mean to draw it. Okay. Okay, now I want you to let those dry, and then you're going to go back in with a very tiny paintbrush and get some of the white mixed onto your brush. So let's pretend that I let those dry, and I'm going to join the lines with my brush. I kind of did that wrong. It's okay. You get the gist. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and spatter this white. If you want smaller dots, smaller stars, spatter it very lightly. If you want bigger stars, spatter it. If you want, okay, let's start again. If you want bigger stars, use a wetter wash of white. So load your brush and you'll get bigger stars. I shouldn't do this over on my computer. There we go. And if you want smaller ones, just dry out your brush and do the smaller stars. And I like a mix of each. And that is just about it, guys. So thanks for joining me for your constellation. There you go.